Hello and welcome back to the HH Gaming Podcast brought to you by hellhades.com. Unfortunately, we are in a bit of a scuffed setup because my computer managed to blow up over the weekend. So I am working from my laptop. I hope the audio is okay. But I am joined again, as usual, by my co-host of the show, Paul or Saphira. And today we are joined by both Lockers and Hell Hades himself.
How are we doing?
Hello.
We are doing good. So we have had an absolutely hectic week in terms of new content dropping in Raid, along with other things. Obviously, we've been trying out New World as well, which has been a great game. And we've just literally, as we've gone to record the podcast today, had another news drop for Raid Shadow Legends, which we'll be talking about in just a moment. Before we get into that, guys, if you do enjoy the podcast that we're putting out on the channel, please do subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and all that good stuff. Also, over the next couple of days, we're going to be releasing the first 4 episodes of the podcast on the YouTube channel. These were originally recorded before we had this second YouTube channel. So we're going to be releasing them on the YouTube channel so that effectively we have the whole collection for you to listen to. So if you didn't listen to the first 4 episodes before we started this channel, they are on Spotify. But you can now find them, or you will be able to find them on the Hell Hades gaming channel moving forward. So how's everyone's week been so far? It's been a bit of a hectic one.
Yeah, it's been busy. Very busy.
And we've just had some more news drop from the Raid Shadow Legends devs there about a new clan versus clan event. Mr. Hades, want to take it away and let us know what we've got in store for the community?
Yeah, well, I've just done a video on it actually, but basically there's going to be, so it's dropped in the kind of what's next in Raid. They did one of their kind of hype videos, and in fairness, again, they did a good job of it. It was really good.
Marketing quality. It's always high quality.
Yeah, they got that kind of like voiceover dude who's like pretty high octane. I don't know
what's coming next in Raid.
It's Bill from marketing.
Yeah,
we're really going to like it and spend lots of money.
I actually think the clan structure thing sounds cool. So there's going to be like clan quests. There's going to be clan leveling, a clan shop. So all of the kind of bones of what's the point of being in the clan right now? They start to tick some of that stuff off. So we like it. We like all of that.
We like it.
I do wonder if the way they're implementing it is there could be a bit of in-clan fighting.
Ooh, drama.
Which I think, so naive. So naive. Be like, oh, why do you need to do it this way? So I think
they've almost thought, well, every clan starts off with like 10 members. Obviously, because that's what you're going to do, have a clan that can have 30 with only 10 members. That's what it feels like in their head. They see a level 1 clan being.
Yeah.
But that's not going to work for Endgame.
And generally, that's not the case. Like, even if you've got, Bob, Fred, and Bill are all totally inactive, your clans fill up fast. Like, it's not hard to fill a clan up with members. True. It's hard to fill a clan up with members of people that have got, like a brain to play the game or actually care about the game.
Or active.
Activity and that type of stuff. That's different. But in terms of will you get 30 people playing the game straight away in a clan? Yeah, I think you will. Like, just so the way the system's running from level 1, it seems that there'll only be a certain number of available quests. Yeah. So
right.
And once you've selected a quest, that's it. That's locked into you until you do it or until it resets at the end of the week. So
that's going to be problems.
I think for the average clan, people will just be like, quick, grab a quest, grab the easy one, grab the one that I can do. Make sure I get my goal towards buying stuff from the shop.
See somebody getting booted out the clan.
The poor guy that's left with like, I don't know, farm Ice Golem 25 and farm it until you get 6 pieces of resistance gear. It'll literally be like, no way do I want to do that.
I think the biggest problem is going to be new system. We know like 50% of the player base probably don't follow things like Discord or official news channels. They just play it and they rely on the in-game news. So they'll go to the thing, go, ooh, shiny, what's this thing do? Press click.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, well, I can't win a tournament, but I've accepted the quest. So now your
So you're locked out for the week. You can't cancel
give it
it.
back.
You can't be like, actually, I'm going to cancel that and pick something else. That's it. You've
Oh,
got to do it,
yikes.
or you're locked out.
Or you can't even like go, I was going to do it. I didn't get time. I'll just give it back. And someone else in the clan who's got an available spot can pick it up. So you effectively, potentially, by accident, the entire clan is going to suffer, because not only you're losing the experience, you're losing the ability for someone to complete that quest. It's going to slow your progress down to the silver rewards, the extra battle rewards, and everything beneficial. Clans are going to want to power through this. They're going to want to get to like the high levels.
Yeah.
I think
good stuff. Like, I mean, they're going to up your silver count just by your clan leveling, which is cool. Like, we've been asking for different ways to increase silver. That's all right. It's not massive, but it's a way.
It really should be everywhere. Just 10% more silver gain.
Yeah, I agree with that. But there are some positive things. There's a shop which is going to have a legendary champion in. It's going to have the chance to get books and stuff. So look, it's definitely better than where we are.
Yeah.
The one thing I worry about is when they implement something, they don't tend to be like, this is a great starting point, and then we're going to enhance it. It tends to be, we're done.
Yeah. Surprise. Look what we did.
You're sacked. You've done your job. You're out. Like, there's no enhancement after it. It's like, now you're gone. We're going to bring someone else in now who's going to design a new champ or something.
If anything, they actually make it harder. So like with 3v3, for example, everyone's like, oh, well, I've done my 10 now. I've played the system. I can get my gold bars. It's like, no. Now you're going to get less for playing your 10. You know, the weekly milestone. Now you've actually got to play 10, and we're going to make it so that you get more bars from actually playing. It's like, right, so you haven't improved it, you've just made it worse. But hey, you know.
I can't help but feel it's like a kid coming home from school with the artwork that they've done. It's like, can it go on the fridge, please?
It's
just like Bill, grab another magnet.
Yeah. There's this really cool thing I've seen. I think it's like a meme on TikTok or something. Basically, it's like this parent, and they got this kid doing this kind of twirl and a jump, yeah, and the parent's like, that I've seen it before, and the kid's like, I've got a new one, twirl and a jump. It's like
they're gonna need to pull shards, they're gonna need to farm.
But no, we'll see. It's a cool update for sure. And obviously they've said that they're dropping a fusion base. It feels like it's going to be at the same time. So an old school fusion.
Makes sense.
Have you guys had a look yet at the champion? Any thoughts?
I saw your video on it, and I mean, I'm quite happy with the outcome at the moment, because I could do with a month off of a fusion, just to get my account up to scratch.
I do worry, because I give an opinion on a video.
Yep.
And what I don't want to do is like give people the wrong idea. Because a lot of people watch my videos and probably either just straight out. Yeah, it's almost like, oh, I agree with this now. And it's like,
everything you say is
think for yourself,
do you not know this?
I might have got this completely wrong, but it looks terrible to me.
Yeah. It's actually because of you that I don't have Brogni. I'm lying. I'm lying. No, I don't have Brogni because I did not have the time to do it. But
that was a brutal fusion.
It was horrible, and unfortunately, it came at a time in my life when I just didn't have the time to even pick up my phone, let alone the game. So, But I mean, it's cool that they're releasing a load new features, and we know from that roadmap that there's a load more coming down the line. This clan the clan quest system, I don't necessarily know it's really the feature that we needed or wanted, but you know, we're getting it, and it's more depth to the game. But I can't help feel that actually maybe this is more going down the lines of things that would appeal to people using it on a PC, whereas obviously a large proportion of the game is played by people just on their mobile phones. And personally, if I was playing a game as a mobile phone game, I'm not sure I'd also be engaging in Discord chats to make sure that we're organized in the clan. You know, I understand there's an in-game clan chat, but I mean, let's face it, who actually follows that? And to be able to try and organize, I feel like actually maybe it would be better if the leaders and the officers in the clan were able to assign stuff rather than people just clicking on it and being like, I'll have that one.
I'm trying to think.
Maybe like if they did an authorization, so you choose that you want to do that, and then they say,
the officers approve it.
Because if your officers are just assigning them, then you're kind of just picking out your favorites, aren't you? So
yeah.
Like if they choose it, just approve it.
Like if I pick a quest and then I decide actually I can't do it, or someone in the Discord channel goes, "Okay, are you really going to go and win 3 tournaments?" kind of thing. You can almost have that conversation. They go, "You know what? Yeah, you're right. I can't do it. I'll hand it back, and someone else in the clan can take it." I mean, that kind of solves all the main problems. It's almost a bit of a do or die. You pick it, you've done it.
It opens it up to one person carrying, and I think the whole idea is that it's supposed to be this cooperative thing that you have to work together to be able to achieve these goals. But I just think that works for a PC only game. I think it's very difficult when you haven't got everyone in Discord or using some sort of messaging app or something like that. I mean, even if they gave an improvement to the way that clans can communicate in game, I think it would be a drastic improvement on how it is now. But
yeah, I like the idea. Actually, Jack was saying there about almost like put a star next to one you're interested in doing, and almost like you've got a prep period of time. So if I think back to Clash of Clans, for a clan war, you could see your opponent for 24 hours before. You could almost put like a flag on the enemy you wanted to take on, and then I mean, sometimes you still got people that just went ahead and hit it without, and that's the equivalent really of what we're talking about here. Is some people just don't give a damn and they just don't do what they're going to do. But when you've got some, and that sort of person you kick out the clan because they're not working together. But if someone's already kind of marked down, this is one I think I can do, then at least you've got like a starting point.
There's control, right? It's not just I clicked some buttons and now I don't know what to do, which is what's going to happen. I can see like Reddit is going to be full of people going, half my clan have picked quests, they can't do it and they can't give it up. Now what do we do? We've lost a week. And I suppose when you get to level 20, it doesn't really matter, right? Because once you're at 20, everyone, you get 90 quests if we look at the table that they've got in the video. So at that point, 30 members, 3 weeks, 3 quests a week, doesn't really matter. You can pick as many as you want, as long as you do them. But I think the big thing to for me is the currency is tied to completing the quests. So if you don't complete the quests, or if you basically have one person taking all the quests early on and no one can take any quests, effectively they can get to their rewards quicker, or they can get more energy than someone else. So you're creating this kind of like a 2-class system in the game where people who do the quests get something that people who don't do the quests just because they no capacity to do it. It's the first time they've introduced something in that nature where it's almost like, unless you have good coordination, someone could just accept the request. Now 2 people in your clan at level 1 aren't going to be able to do any quests. There's not going to be enough available.
I guess in fairness as well, though, like the clans that do put the effort into coordinate should develop their clan better than the person that doesn't. So I kind of get that, because the whole point of a clan system rather than an individual's person system is that you need to work as a group to achieve a goal. And so I kind of get that. I kind of actually agree with it. There should be a better reward for people that put in the work to actually care about what they're doing.
Yeah, of course.
But I do think there needs to be a better or a good balance, at least, of everybody should have the option to take something on and earn the reward. Whether it's something that's harder than the other person or not, okay, that's different. But there should definitely still be enough opportunity for people to pick up quests. Everybody.
Do you think that this is almost a way of them tackling the hopping of guilds and things like that, or clans, to almost build a little bit more pride in being in the clan that you're in, so that you've helped to actually build the clan's level up and things like that, rather than it just being like an arbitrary thing which you're just a member of? Because I know a lot, at least at the high end, a lot of people are swapping clans depending on CVCs and stuff like that at the moment. So maybe
that's going to stop it, though, is it really? Because you can just if anything, it's going to increase it, because you're going to go to one place, you're going to get all the whales in who can quickly boost to 20, then they're going to go to the next one and boost that to 20. And then I suppose what I'm thinking is, what's to stop them just swapping still? Because if both clans are 20...
I think the main thing this is trying to do, and I've noticed it a lot in their more recent patches, is they're trying to implement things in the game which create longevity. So they want to extend, I think, the average playtime of a player. So originally it was like, let's just go out and grab as many players as we can, more marketing, more players. I think there's just starting to turn the dial now to say, actually, maybe we keep some people we keep people for a bit longer. Maybe we
and that's good. That is very
money.
very good.
I feel like this is going to add a lot of playtime though, because if you're trying to complete a quest that you don't normally do, then it's going to add more to your playtime than what you already got. Like people struggle nowadays to complete what they will.
Yeah, it definitely depends what the quest lines are like. If it's literally like go and glyph 3 items, or
you're going to do that as you play.
And there'll be a lot of the stuff which will just be, hit clan boss for this much damage. It'll be much the same as what we see in current quests, in advanced quests, I would imagine. So
it's shifting the guilt, because you no longer feel guilty about playing the game. You feel guilty because you're letting your friends down.
True. Yeah. And also because you don't want to get kicked.
Yeah, exactly.
You haven't done your free quests
I need
this
these
week.
rewards.
You're out.
But I do think generally it's the right way forward. It's like it's making clans have a purpose, which at the moment, other than you join a clan to do clan boss, that's like the clan could be anyone, it could be anything. Obviously CVC has changed that a little bit, but ultimately the clan container doesn't give anything to you as a player, where now it will, which is good. Do we need another shop and another mission line and another thing and another currency? Probably not. They could have amalgamated, but we'll see how it goes. I think definitely people are going to want to min-max to get as high as a level as possible, as quickly as possible.
Yeah,
that'll be what clans will want to aim for.
And how achievable? Because I haven't really seen the system. How achievable is it to, like power level your clan, or is it going to be dependent on, are you going to be limited to a fixed amount of XP that you can get per week, or is it uncapped? Or
at the moment, I don't know if people even realize this, in the game right now there are clan achievements. So use mystery shards is one, use ancient shards, beat the dragon, beat the minotaur. Like there's a ton, and I bet most people listening to this podcast now don't even realize they're there, because they don't mean anything. Like you could be level 20 on all of them and it makes no difference.
They actually do affect your rank, apparently, I was told.
They affect your player power, or your ranking points. You're right. Ranking, sorry.
Yeah, which is weird because
so when I was back in Gallifrey, we actually did. We were going for rank 1. We actually did these.
The commitment.
We tried to do these, but at the moment they don't really hold a purpose, because rank means nothing. Whereas in the future, so these will give you experience. When you complete different levels of this, it's going to give you experience towards leveling up your clan. I don't know if they're going to like post date stuff. I guess they will have
I was going to say, is this going to backdate, or is everyone starting
otherwise some people are already just maxed out? So
yeah,
not sure.
Who knows? I mean, obviously CVC as well will give you some points. And it depends on what happens with the leveling up requirements, because obviously at level 1 it looks like it's 500. You're probably going to hit that pretty quickly, but then does it go 1,000?
It would absolutely snowball up linearly, sure. So that's good. Like it gives, I think it just gives people a focus, or a different focus. If people are getting a bit flat in the game, it's just something else to look at. Like, how do we as a clan tackle this kind of clan achievement of whatever, whatever it's going to be. But I think overall it's a positive. I'm just not sure about their ability to implement a shop, but
and it's a whole new currency. Is that right?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So when you're free to play, are you also going to be looking at like these quest lines and going for it, or are you just going to stay focused on what you're doing already though?
Well, I think you'd still go for it. Like there'll be some stuff that you can do, because if you see the image of the shop that we've got so far, like the early level stuff is you get a bit more silver, you get like a 3-star chicken. Then as you level up through the clans, and you can get so many a week, so you can like cap out and get maybe 4 3-star chickens in a week, maybe. And as you level up, you can get like fragments towards a legendary, and then you level up again, you can get like epic books, legendary books. So you're not going to get that stuff until you're much later in the game, but you will get some stuff.
Is your account still free to play if we kick someone out of our clan and just get you in here?
Boosted free to play.
You can wait for the drama that will go with that. You'll have to make a free to play clan now, because if somebody in your clan spends money, then they boosted the clan.
Someone was saying to me, "Can I join your clan?" I'm like, I don't run clans. Like,
too much effort.
Firstly, I've got no interest in running a free to play clan. Like, literally, it would be terrible. I just log on, play the game, play it as well as I can. That's it.
It's like people who are raid leaders in MMO. I tip my hat to them because it's the most patient. It must be like having a child, but at the same time, then being an adult and then having to coordinate everything.
I did
one.
I did it for 6 years at a very high end, and it is a lot of work.
Trying to get two Karazhan runs going side by side, both that can clear the content, both with an equal kind of level, honestly. And then you got a few people that are a little bit late. It's like, no, that's a cut off. If you're not here, the subs come in. Yeah, literally come 2 minutes late, and you're like, oh, I really wish they were here because they're so much better.
and then they log on, and you're like sneakily just putting them in. It's fine.
Yeah, it is actually. And then you get the kind of loot drops. What system do we use? It's a headache.
And then arguments about it, and like, well, I was only 2 minutes late. Why did you bench me? And all this.
Yeah, it's like we can't get any loot until your third run, and it's like, and we used to run, I can't remember what the system was called, but like a points system thing. So whoever had it.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah. We used EPGP, which is basically DKP Reloaded, I think it was called.
Right.
And it worked off the DKP system, like you generate points depending on how many you killed. But everything had a fixed value, whereas DKP systems allowed people to bid. Which just got awkward because you had somebody who would literally hoard all of their points because they wanted that one item.
That's it, waiting for that one drop. And you know as well, like you're thinking to yourself, I really don't want that to go to you.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't really need it.
And the worst part about it is to get to that point, they've like basically sacrificed not getting any gear to that level, so they're the worst player, and
that's it, lowest DPS on your team, like,
and you're giving them that massive upgrade that would be huge to anyone, but they're getting it just because they hoarded all those points.
Yeah, what's tricky.
Or the other way around,
people leave the guilds because of it. It's like, no, I should have had that one.
Love some good loot drama.
The other way it works as well is when they're basically holding out just for that one item because it's all they need. They literally get it, and then they never come to a raid again. It's like, right, we've just given you the rarest item that would have helped the run, and now you've just you're done. I'm like, well, that's helpful.
We had a problem with it because when we were raiding, I remember he's a very good friend of mine, a guy called Revy, and he played an elemental shaman in our raid team, and he played the game hardcore. I mean, this guy was a Scarab Lord and things like that. If you know what that is, basically from the gates of Anchorage when it originally opened back in original WoW. There was a very limited number of people within a set window. If you had completed a quest line, you would get the Scarab Lord title and a Scarab Lord mount. And it was so rare, and it is still so rare. And it just shows, like, I guess even now, how much this guy put into the game. But he played the game so hardcore that by the time the raid came out, so when the raid was live, the dungeon content was ready, and he farmed like crazy all of the dungeon gear, which was basically at the same level as like the normal and entering into heroic level raid gear. So entering in there, he actually didn't need any gear from heroic progress because he was already like maxed out. And he went through all of heroic, just generating all these points, and he already had the highest gear level in the guild. And then didn't pick up anything. We hit Mythic, and suddenly everything went to Revy because it's just like, well, yeah, he's just like, I don't need heroic boys because when we get into Mythic, it is all mine.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, but he's a good guy. He was loyal to the guild, so it was fine. But
talking of MMOs, our next topic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The grand old world of New World.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where you basically spend half an hour mining stuff you don't know what you do for.
Yeah. I hear that Jack's taken up drug dealing in that game. I just keep seeing videos of him like rolling in hemp everywhere I see.
They find a little hemp farm.
we should start a company like the Hemp Collection Company, like they had the East India Trading Company.
Yeah,
just
monopolize the market. You have people
East
out
New
there
World hemp
farming
company.
Every bit of hemp that comes out in the wild. It goes onto the market at an uplifted price.
Yeah,
it's just smart.
Be spotted by the end of the stream.
Yeah. So how are you guys getting on with New World? Obviously, I put 20 hours or so into it last week, but then I had all these computer issues, so I've kind of been watching from the sidelines at you guys leveling up and enjoying it so far. Do you know how many hours that you've had into the beta so far?
82, I think.
Wow, you're ahead of me.
It's only been out like a week.
And this is your first MMO, Jack, yeah?
I know, yeah. So it's my first proper
He's
one.
caught the bug. Simon, you've lost him.
Yeah, I've only been able to put 30 odd hours in. I'm like, I'm seeing you all level up, and I'm like, I want to play, but I'm streaming Raid.
I have just crested 50 hours, which is
50
kind of
hours,
mental
nice.
considering I'm level 31 out of 60. So I'm not even like halfway through the leveling process.
Okay, so between the four of us, we've got about 170 hours experience in New World. How have you spent the game, and how I guess what's been your best experience in the game so far, and what the pros and cons of at least the opening to New World for now?
Probably got a bit of the expedition. Hands out. It was like, it was a dungeon run. It was pretty immense.
It was fun.
Yeah. Can't lie. It was
I was throwing hatchets, pretending to be useful.
Yeah, all I heard in the entire raid whilst I was smashing people in my hand was ting-ling-ling clink, ting-ling-ling clink.
All right, come. No. Let's set the record straight here, because I was hitting more than I was missing.
Not at the beginning. I don't remember that to be true.
Like, all I heard is clink, 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 and that's the sound of it hitting the rocks behind them.
You were basically mining rocks with hatchets instead of a pickaxe by the start of it, and then by the end, you actually were doing a little bit of damage.
Yeah,
I guess that's one of the cool things, though, isn't it? Like, you actually have to aim your moves. Like, I'm used to being a mage where I'm literally like tab, all my abilities are just landing wherever I want. Tab, next
tab,
mob.
1, 2, 3, dead.
Yeah. Whereas this time it's like aim, crap, my pyroblast type of move has literally just missed, and that's my big cooldown one. And I'm like, I'm doing a meteor storm, and Saf's running with the mob somewhere else. I'm like,
exactly. Blame the tank. Blame the tank.
Damage.
One of them, it was literally me just running around my two-handed hammer, going, "I am Thor," and I'm like, "Crap, I missed everyone. Come back."
It's cool. The kind of I'd imagine that's going to be really cool in PvP. I've not really done any PvP yet, but I imagine the whole kind of having to be skilled at the game to land stuff is going to be pretty cool, actually.
It's not just
the difference between a progressed player and a skilled player is going to be huge. Like I imagine how it's going to work out is that even a player that's incredibly good at the game technically, if they don't have the gear, they'll still be able to beat people who outgear them.
Sure.
Just by outplaying them.
Yeah, because there's a level 24 that beat a level 60 in a PvP, wasn't there? That was going around on Reddit.
There? I didn't see that.
Well, they did bug fix a bit of an issue with PvP scaling. I noticed the other day on the patches. They have done a fix now where something about there wasn't correct scaling in between the different like items you could acquire. So maybe that doesn't happen anymore. But I do think, as you said, you can't just get the best gear and be the best player.
Yeah.
Which technically in a lot of MMOs, because it's targeted and you, as long as you know the rotation, you just sit there and do your rotation. Where this is actually like, no, you actually have to aim.
Yeah. And then they dodge, and then
one of the coolest videos I've seen.
Literally.
It's great. one of the coolest videos that I've seen, it was one guy taking on 8 people. And he just outplayed them. He just kited them and ran and just took them down one at a time. And
what sort of character was he?
He was an archer. He was using bow.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And you could see he was just scooting back using his bow attacks and just taking them down one at a time. He would, run around a building and go inside, and somebody would follow him, and then he'd take them down, and then he'd go back outside and just go for the rest of them. You could see like. As well as that, he had his voice comms on, and he was just laughing his head off. He was having such a fun time, and you could see that the guys like ducking behind trees, trying to get some health and eat and things like that. And he was just like sort of getting his bow out and hitting them, and
because it's so realistic in that sense, as in to physically shoot, you have to aim and hit them with the arrow. I was watching Sacriel, don't know how to say it, level 60. Using his spear, and the pinpoint accuracy that you can throw these objects is better than any game out there. But that also means you can use the environment to your benefit in PvP. So if someone's trying to shoot you, then you can hide behind things. Where in normal MMOs, if they've got you target
just go through it,
just press the button. Unless it's line of sight issues. But most of the time, if you've casted it, it's gone. If you've moved and dashed, you can dash the ability, but you can't with a lot of old MMOs. And the realism, even down to the extent where if you're an archer, you have to go and physically craft your arrows.
Yeah.
You don't just get an unlimited supply of your ability based on mana.
I think on the crafting side as well, there's, from what I've seen so far, there's quite a good amount of I guess like a crafting element to the game. So if you think about needing to get recipes, needing to go out and farm the materials, different random roles of substats and stuff like that, which can come onto items. So it feels like there's a purpose for different roles in your clans going forward, your guilds around, like a weapons master or an
engineer and all that.
armorer.
Yeah.
And what's nice is there's no like, okay, I need to roll an archer. Okay, now the guild needs a tank. I'm gonna have to re-level. You don't have to do that.
Just pick up a sword and shield.
You start leveling your other weapon.
Yeah,
eventually
you do level you have to level your actual ability in that thing. But I guess, can you just level all of them? Just level
eventually
all
you can. Yeah. Eventually you can. It'd take you a long time because I mean it slows down dramatically after around level 10, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But I mean,
quite cool.
Even if you got everything up to level 10 so that you could do like it as a base job, say if you're in a dungeon and a friend's not online, somebody needs to heal that particular dungeon. I mean, obviously you won't have the benefit of unless you have multiple sets of armor of having gear with like intelligence.
You can't specialize, right? That's what you're saying. You
Exactly.
On all of them. You can't be the best unless you spend an insane amount of time and have an insane amount of storage. But what you can do is you can off roll quite comfortably and without having to re-roll and rerun it through and go through all the old content again. There's no class system in that sense where, okay, I'm a lore master, you only need a lore master, now I can't play the game kind of thing, which is you see a lot in games like Lord of the Rings Online, where you pick one champion, one class for a specific part of PvE group content, but then they're useless in everything else kind of thing. So you have the ability to respec as well quite comfortably. I think it's free up to a certain point. And I think what they have, the final point I would say is, because I'm totally hyped about the different weapons, is what they've done well.
Just wants a hammer.
You can you can quickly test any weapon without putting too much investment. So you can like pick up a spear, go kill about 10 mobs, and now you've got 3 of your main abilities pretty quickly. So you can get a feel of whether or not you like the spear, and if not, you move on. I picked up the hammer and I never looked back because I am Thor. Hammer of the gods.
It's just hammer time.
There are some things though which I'm still not sold on, or maybe it'll be improved once it comes out for real. But it feels like quite a lot of the quest lines are a bit samey. Like the mobs look similar. You basically got 3 different types of mob that you will face.
Their attack patterns are quite similar as well, especially when you like wildlife like the wolves and the wildcats, whatever. Their attack patterns like predictable. But
they're not difficult. Like, so mobs will dodge. They'll read your battle movements, and if they see you're charging up a heavy attack, they'll slide to the right or they'll dodge, that's more than I think what most games will
keep
have.
seeing what they're doing. You think, okay, this is going to be one where I can do a big old heavy attack, and then they just duck in, and it's like whack. And you're like,
So Jack, you've played more hours. What level have you reached?
32 or 33.
Have you found any variability in the quests yet, or is it still, because the early first level 20s were basically pick up chests, kill 3 mobs, and
kind
kill
of the 12. Same. Yeah, no, it's kind of the same. You find just 12 chests. Collect your little things from the chests and kill the mobs. It's not really changed that much.
I guess the quest lines are not really the depth of the game. It's not really got a lot of lore. It's more about you creating your own story. But I do agree though. I think there needs to be more variety of actual mobs in the game, because even at level 20, you're fighting the same type of zombies you were fighting at level 1.
So that does improve.
It does.
At level 30, you start getting like 5 or 6 different types, because early on you basically get guardians, I think, and then just like animal wildlife. At level 30, you start seeing things like Angry Earth, which are like elf things, like tree people. Cool. And then you get like corrupted, lost, pirates, and it's another one as well, ancient. So there's more variability to go, which is good.
Yeah. Awesome.
But I think the main draw for me for this type of game is actually, what they do with dungeon content or raiding content. And from what I'm hearing, like PvP is, or dungeons generally is like 5-man stuff, unless you do world events. Is that right?
Yeah.
Which I've not experienced yet. So for me, if I go back to my WoW days, I enjoyed like the 5-man heroics, but I looked forward to the most like your 20-man raids, your 10-man raids.
Absolutely.
Like they were by far the thing that I wanted to do. And actually the 5-man stuff was like, well, this is a gap fill because we're not raiding properly tonight. So I hope there's something planned for that. I don't know if you guys have got any info on that.
I know that there's talks about it, but they didn't want to put anything in for launch. I think they wanted to get the game out there. I know for a fact that in one of the interviews that they mentioned raids. But that being said, at the same time, obviously there are world bosses. The dungeon content itself is probably more difficult than early World of Warcraft anyway. I think maybe it'll get repetitive. I'm not sure. I know I really enjoyed the one dungeon that we did do. But the other massive draw of the game is supposed to be like the siege system, the
PvP basically, isn't it?
Yeah, the clan versus clan PvPs and the wars.
The outpost
rush, yeah.
You don't
looks immense.
I think the context, for people who don't know what happened with New World, when it came out a year ago, it was very much PvP everything. You didn't have the option to toggle PvE or PvP. It was your PvP. It wasn't dungeons. It wasn't anything like that. And the feedback from people was, it's a great PvP game, but that's going to be boring after a while. Where's the PvE content? It's an MMO. So they basically took it away, and then they brought this back with, inside a year, to be fair, 5 or 6 dungeons on launch plus a PvE or PvP toggle. I don't think they've quite got the balance right yet. I don't think you get enough for toggling PvP, so nobody toggles it. And I think the punishment is a bit too harsh for the reward, because you lose
they've
all your
almost
missions.
Tilted the scales the other way.
And they don't make sense, like one of the missions when I did PvP early on was go kill 5 turkeys to weaken the enemy. I'm like,
ruin their Christmas lunch.
It's not things like kill 5 players, or you don't get things like lifetime things. There's a big gap in the PvP system at the moment, which they probably will improve on. I mean, it's a beta release. It's never a finished product until about a year after a release in MMO terms. Where it's things like, ranks in terms of PvP and in terms of like player kills, getting experience and rewards for killing players out in the open world on top of all the other stuff. But
I think the main thing to bear in mind is, and this is really for Amazon Studios rather than the player base, is that there are other games on the horizon which already have this stuff implemented. You've got Ashes of Creation, Lost Ark, which I did a video on the other day. Again, it's not the same view, but they've already got raids, they've already got dungeon content, things like that. Obviously, there's the new expansion to Final Fantasy Online, which is blowing up at the moment, especially with all this drama with Blizzard and World of Warcraft. So, there are games out there that already fulfill these needs. So if Amazon does want to capture that market, they almost have to think seriously about implementing raids and dungeons and team-based content, because that's why people play MMOs. The game can be great in a core, but what's going to keep you in it is the people playing it and the people that you're playing it with.
There's a difference between Witcher and WoW. At the moment, it probably feels more like Witcher than it does WoW in that sense, which is not bad, because I think actually the world that they've created is amazing, like the landscapes. I'm at level 32 and I'm still picking up new things. I've no idea what I do with it, but I'm picking up new things and I'm finding new things that I've not picked up before, which is, for the landscape that they've built, is incredible. I think there's also a lot of pressure on Amazon Game Studios. This is the 3rd game that they've tried to release. The first 2 have kind of crashed and burnt before they even became popular or even got out of beta phase. So I think there's a lot of pressure on them to make sure that they get a positive outcome from New World.
I mean, it's extremely brave to take a 3rd attempt at launching a game right into a market that is so hungry for a new game. The MMO scene has been kind of forgotten. And people who are into MMO games are so desperate for a good game that they can get stuck into.
They've also got a really high expectation, like that. The
of course they
benchmark
do,
is so high with what's happened. World of Warcraft's been a brilliant game for a long time.
Yeah.
And even before World of Warcraft, actually, some games out there were solid games. You had things like EverQuest, you had things like
Star Wars Galaxies,
Lineage, Star Wars Galaxy. Yeah,
RuneScape.
a whole ton.
I think the problem with MMOs and the reason why they don't make them is they're expensive and they're hard to please.
Yeah.
People want WoW. And I'm like, they forget that WoW has had a huge development team at one point and 15 years worth of time to build the world.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's certainly not the game it started as. Like,
exactly.
WoW.
No.
And to be fair, it was great when it started, but it's nothing like that game anymore.
Yeah. Well, you saw that so clearly when they launched Classic, because everybody wanted WoW originally, and all of these people were looking at it through rose-tinted glasses, because the second they got it, they were like, I don't want to be doing this. I can't find a group.
We're missing the group finder. It's all these things which have just been added over the time.
Yeah.
And you just don't realize it actually.
Get that with a lot of games though, don't you? If you think about, like, you remember the games you played back like 10 years ago, that was such a great game. And then you pick it up now and you think, this is such a terrible game. Why am I playing this game?
Yeah. I did that with Star Wars Galaxies. I found this kind of little server that they'd reignited, and which a bit like WoW Classic. I was like, and I get myself a character, go back into it. And because I loved the game, and I went on it, I was like, damn, this looks terrible. Like, it looks it literally looked awful. Yeah. I was like, is this seriously the same game?
Yeah. A few years ago,
we take improvements for granted, right? We just think, oh, well, it's an improvement. We want the old way. The old way was better. And then you play the old one, it's like, I actually have to walk. What?
Yeah.
I don't want to walk.
A few years ago, I played Tekken 2. And I hadn't played it since I was like young on PlayStation 1, or it was PlayStation 1 that it was out on. And I remember the graphics on that game being so much better than they were, because you look at it now, and these are literally like characters built out of different hexagons and blocks. And yeah, like in comparison to where we are now, I think everyone to an extent has the rose tinted glasses that this is what this was the highest standard at the time. But now we're almost spoiled with our 8K gaming and things like that in certain places. And in 10 years time from now, we're going to be looking back on games like New World and things like that with our virtual reality headsets on, and saying, wow, people actually played that.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem with MMOs in general. So mobile games are great because you pick up, you spend, and you play a little bit. With MMOs, people don't expect to pay a lot for a lot. They expect to pay a small subscription fee and then expect to get hours and hours of gameplay, and being able to sustain the development cycle on what is required for the money that they make is quite difficult for studios. I mean, I think Amazon have dropped. I read a news report that they'd invested $1 billion into their game studios. So New World would have been, and New World is using a brand new engine that they decided they wanted to build. So they didn't use an existing game world. They wanted their own lumberjack game world.
And there's a risk that in 2 months' time, it will not exist. That's the biggest problem with MMOs. If you get a bad launch, the game's dead.
Pretty much. It lives to dies on player base, right?
Yeah.
But it looks amazing. If people want to basically go into a game world for 5 hours and forget about everything going on in their life and wander and find things to collect and pick up, it is.
Yeah, well, it drains time, doesn't it? Like, go on tonight, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, done it again.
I've seen you guys in there. And I'm just like, I want to play, but I don't have a computer.
Yeah. So I normally finish streaming at 11 p.m.
Yeah.
And I've seen you guys playing, and a couple of times I've been like, I'll just log on for an hour or so.
3 in the morning.
3 to 4 a.m. Be like that.
Literally, you walk
Don't
around.
tell Lady H.
Yeah.
You literally walk around and you go, I'll just do this one quest. And then he's like, oh, that quest is quite near. I'll go do that. And he's like, actually, I need to collect some wood on the way. So I might as well fill my bags up on the way back. Oh, I found another quest. I'll pick that up. I wonder what that's doing. Oh, there's a world now. And it's like 5 hours later and you're thinking, I still haven't handed this quest in. What am I doing? How have I got here?
Awesome. Literally. Right, we're going to wrap it up there, guys, because we're getting to the end of the podcast. Obviously, we've got loads of content coming out on the new updates coming out in Raid over the next few weeks. So make sure that you check out the updates on the website, Hell Hades' channel, and obviously our channel as well. Make sure you give us thumbs up and subscribe. And thank you to Hell Hades, Lockers, and Saphira again for joining us on the podcast. But yeah, we will see you next week, guys. Thank you very much.
See you later.
See you later.